Before fire, there was only cold, and darkness, and fear. Imagine a world where the sun going down meant genuine danger, where the temperature dropped and the predators woke up, and the only thing standing between you and death was the darkness itself. For millions of years, that was the reality of being human. And then, one day, everything changed. Not because someone was clever, not because someone planned it, because something burned, and a human watched it, and didn't run. The first fire ancient humans ever encountered was not one they made. It was one that already existed. Lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, spontaneous brush fires ignited by the scorching heat of the African sun. Fire was everywhere in the ancient world. And for millions of years, humans did exactly what every other animal did when they encountered it. They ran. Because fire kills. Fire spreads. Fire destroys everything it touches. Running from fire was not stupidity. It was survival. But somewhere between 1.5 million and 2 million years ago, something shifted. One human, or perhaps a small group, stopped running. Not because they were brave, because they were curious and hungry. Because fire does something that no predator does. It leaves things behind. After a brush fire sweeps through the savanna, the ground is covered in the cooked remains of animals and plants that didn't escape. Cooked meat, roasted tubers, nuts cracked open by heat. Food that required no hunting, no effort, just the courage to walk toward the dying embers and take what was there. And the human brain, always calculating survival odds, made a decision. The fire is dying. The predators are gone. The food is right there. Go. This moment, the first time a human walked toward fire instead of away from it, may be the single most important decision in the history of our species. Because cooked food changed everything. Not metaphorically, literally, biologically. Cooked food is dramatically easier for the human body to digest. The calories are more accessible. The proteins unfold in ways that raw meat cannot. And the result, over thousands of generations, was a brain that grew larger, a gut that shrank, a body that became more efficient. The discovery of fire and cooked food may be the reason the human brain became what it eventually became. We didn't just cook food. The food cooked us. But learning to use fire that already existed was only the first step. The second step, learning to make it, took hundreds of thousands of years more. The earliest evidence of deliberate fire-making dates to around 400,000 years ago. A site in Israel called Qasem Cave, where ancient humans maintained controlled fires for cooking, warmth, and light for at least 200,000 years, continuously. Not occasionally, continuously. They kept fire alive. They fed it. They protected it. Because they understood something that took civilization a very long time to articulate. Fire is not just a tool. Fire is life. The method was friction. A hardwood stick pressed against a softer wood base, rotated rapidly between the palms, again and again and again, until the friction generated enough heat to create an ember, a tiny glowing coal no bigger than a grain of rice, caught carefully in a bundle of dry grass or bark, blown gently, so gently, because too hard and you extinguish it, too soft and it dies. And after weeks of practice and hundreds of failures, a flame. That first deliberately made flame was not just fire. It was proof. Proof that the natural world was not something humans had to merely survive. It was something they could control. Fire did not just feed ancient humans. It protected them. Predators that had hunted humans for millions of years were afraid of fire. The same instinct that made early humans run from flames made every large predator on the savanna keep its distance. Fire gave humans nights, real nights, safe nights where they could sleep without half the group dying, where they could gather, tell stories, make tools, plan hunts, think. Fire did not just change what ancient humans ate. It changed what they did with the hours of darkness. And what they did with those hours is what eventually built everything you see around you today. The next time you light a candle, or strike a match, or turn on a gas stove, remember this. Somewhere 400,000 years ago, a human knelt in the dirt, palms bleeding from days of friction, exhausted, watched a tiny ember glow for the first time in human hands, and changed the world. Drop a comment below. Do you think you could survive without fire for a single week? Subscribe for more stories that change how you see the world. And watch this next, because the next one is just as wild.